my name is Sandy Knibb, and this is my class of 1st and 2nd grade at Sierra Christian School.
Hello, my name is Josiah, and I'm going to read The Rainforest. If you flew over the world's largest rainforest, you would see endless canopy of tall green trees. This steamy forest is called the Amazon. It covers a third of South America. Deep in the rainforest, tropical plants grow so close together that you need a machete to cut a path through them. Many animals live in the rainforest. How many can you find in this picture? Amazing plants also grow in the rainforest. These rainforest animals are brightly colored as a rainbow. Fabulous birds live in the rainforest. The smallest of all is the hummingbird. It drinks nectar from brightly colored flowers. All kinds of parakeets live in the rainforest. This large bird is called the toucan. Rhymes with you can. It has a big, colorful bill. There are different kinds of toucans. Monkeys also live in the rainforest. They climb and swing from tree to tree. These tropical monkeys sense that danger is near. What could it be? A jaguar on the hunt. Camouflage animals have colors and shapes to help them hide from animals that feed on them. Can you find 3 insects hiding here? The Amazon rainforest, home to so many beautiful animals and valuable plants, is being attacked by an enemy. Who is it? People. Thank you for listening to me read.
Hello, my name is Marnie McDowell, and I'm going to read Make Money for Ducklings by Arnold McCluskey. One day the ducklings hatched. One day the ducklings hatched out. First came Jack, then Cack, then Lack, then Mack, and Nap, and a Whack, and Hack, and Quack. Mr. and Mrs. Lion were bursting with pride. It was a great responsibility taking care of so many ducklings, and it kept them very busy. One day, Mr. Mallow decided he'd like to take a trip to see what the rest of the river was like farther on. So off he set. I'll meet you in a week at the public garden, he quacked over his shoulder. Take good care of the ducklings. Don't you worry, said Mrs. Mud. I know all about bringing up children. And she did. She taught them how to swim and dive. She taught them how to walk in a line, to come when they were called, and to keep a safe distance from bikes and scooters and other things with wheels. When I left, she felt perfectly satisfied with them. She said one morning, "Come along, children, follow me." Before you could wink an eyelash, Jack, Cack, Lack, Knock, Knack, Whack, Hack, and Quack fell into line, just as they had been taught, and swam behind her to the opposite bank. There they waddled ashore and waited. There they waited ashore and waddled along until they came to the highway. Mrs. Mallard stepped out to cross the road. Honk honk went the speeding cars. Quack quack went Mrs. Mallard as she tumbled back again. Quack quack, quack quack went Jack. Cat quack knack knack whack quack and quack, just as loud as their little crackers could quack. The cars kept speeding by and honking, and Mrs. Mallard and her ducklings kept right on quack quack quacking. Oh. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to know how the story is, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Sophie Parrott, and I'd like to read you The Shoeshine Girl. The Meadow. Hear that sound, he said. Every time I hear rain on a tin roof, I get to thinking about when I was a boy. We lived in an old truck with a tin roof over the back. We lived in a truck. Most of the time, we slept under the tin roof, and when it rained, the sound put me to sleep. We went all over the South in that truck. You and your mother and father, my dad and I, what were you doing driving all over the South? My dad sold medicine. What kind? Something to make you strong and keep you from getting sick. Did you take it? No, I guess it wasn't any good. She had never heard him talk much about himself before. She wanted him to go on. Was it fun living in a truck? Fun? I wouldn't say so. Riding along was all right. Sometimes my dad and I stopped close to the woods, but that was all right too. But I never liked it when we were in town selling medicine. Dad would play the mouth harp, and he made me sing. He wanted me to dance a jig too, but I never could. She tried to imagine I was a little boy. She couldn't at all. Why did he want me to sing and dance? She asked to draw a crowd. When there was a crowd, he sold medicine. We didn't stay anywhere very long, except once. We stayed in one place 6 months. My dad did farm work, and I went to school. He told her about the school. It was just outside of town. The teacher was Miss Mallard. The schoolhouse had only one room. There was this big stove, he said, and that winter I kept the fire going. Miss Mallard never had to carry coal when I was there. Did you like her? Asked Ida. Was she a good teacher? Best teacher I ever had. Of course, she was just about the only one. I hadn't been to school much, but she took time to show me things. Do teachers still give medals in school? Sometimes, not very often. Miss Mallard gave medals. They were all alike. Everyone had a star on it. At the end of school, you got it. One if you were the best in reading or writing or spelling or writing or whatever it was. Thank you for listening to me read. If you'd like to hear the rest of this book, you can probably check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Julie Pavon, and I would like to read Amanda Pig's Google. Mrs. Flora Pig did everyone. Then she put out scissors and glue and crayons and buttons and beans and bits of wide ribbons and lace and all sorts of things. Now you can decorate your picture of you, she said. Amanda walked hard on her picture. First, she colored her dress. She said used up a whole coin, purple coin. Then she was the last. Then she saw the last she said. Thank you for listening to me read. If you would like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library. Hi, my name is Sarah Dykstra, and I'm going to read There's a Rocket in My Pocket. Did you ever have a feeling there's a zamp in the lamp? Or a nink in the sink? Or a wasset in the closet? And that zelf up on that shelf, I have talked to her myself. I like the zabel on the table and the gare beneath the chair, but the bofa on the sofa acts as if he doesn't care. I like the yeeling on the ceiling and the zower in the shower. I like the nubbards in the cupboards, I do like them a lot. But that new squash on my toothbrush, well, some are nice, but he is not. The yeps on the steps are always fun to have around, and so are many, many other friends that I have found. Like the teller and the meller and the geller and the deller and the beller and the weller and the cellar. There's a yiddle in the bottle whom I don't wish to keep, but the zello on my pillow always helps me fall asleep. Thank you for listening to me read. Hi, my name is Alex Holland, and I'm going to read Make Way for Ducklings by Robert Witkowski. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard were looking for a place to live, but every time Mr. Mallard saw what looked like a nice place, Mrs. Mallard said it was no good. There were sure to be foxes in the woods, or turtle in the water, and she was not going to raise a family where there might be foxes or turtles, so they flew on and on. When they got to Boston, they felt too tired to fly any further. There was a nice pond in the public garden with a little island on it, a very place to spend the night, thought Mr. Mallard, so down they flew. Next morning they fished for their breakfast in the mud at the bottom of the pond, but they didn't find much. Just as they were getting ready to start on their way, a strange, enormous bird came by. It was pushing a boat full of people, and there was a man sitting on its back. Good morning, quacked Mr. Mallard, being polite. The big bird was too proud to answer. Thank you for listening to me. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library. Hi, my name is Bobby, and I'm going to read you Frog and Toad Together. Cookies. Toad baked some cookies. These cookies smell very good.
said Toad. He ate one, and they taste even better, he said. Toad ran to Frog's house. Frog, Frog, cried Toad, taste these cookies that I have made. Frog ate one of the cookies. These are the best cookies I have ever eaten, said Frog. Frog and Toad ate many cookies, one after another. You know, Toad, said Frog, with his mouth full, I think we should stop eating. We will soon be sick. You are right, said Toad. Let us eat one last cookie, and then we will stop. Frog and Toad ate one last cookie. There were many cookies left in the bowl. Frog, said Toad, let us eat one very last cookie, and then we will stop. Frog and Toad ate one very last cookie. We must stop eating, cried Toad, as he ate another. Yes, said Frog, reaching for another cookie. We need willpower. What is willpower? Asked Toad. Willpower is trying hard not to do something that you really want to do, said Frog. You mean like trying not to eat all of these cookies? Asked Toad. Right, said Frog.
It's okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Susan Morrison, and you'll be listening to my 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders read from Sierra Christian School.
Hi, my name is Trevor Hall, and I'm going to be reading Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back by Tracy West. Chapter 1, Mewtwo Awakes. Strange images floated through the Pokemon's mind. Bubbles dancing in crystal blue water. An island somewhere in the middle of the ocean. A small creature without wings flying through the air. And humans, many humans. The Pokemon stirred slowly. It opened its eyes. It was floating in a glass tank filled with red fluid. A group of humans surrounded the tank. Humans in long white coats, scientists. They were staring at it and whispering. It's awake, one of the scientists cried. Awake? I'm awake. The Pokemon looked down at its body. Strong muscles tense beneath its white fur. It did feel awake. It felt more than awake. It felt powerful. The Pokemon closed its eyes and imagined the tank breaking into a million pieces. Almost instantly, the tank around it shattered. Red fluid spilled onto the floor. The Pokemon crouched on the floor. Where am I? The Pokemon asked. Its deep, rich voice filled the room. Who am I? One of the scientists stepped forward. Mewtwo is complete, the man said. Mewtwo, the Pokemon asked. That's your name, said the scientist. We used the rarest Pokemon in the world to create you. It is called Mew. The man pointed to an image on a computer screen. It was an ancient drawing. It looked like it might have been scratched on a cave wall. The drawing showed a cat-like Pokemon. The creature looked like Mewtwo, but smaller. It had big eyes and a long, thin tail. Mewtwo's eyes narrowed. This was the creature from its dreams. You said you used Mew to create me? What did you mean? Mewtwo asked. The man beamed. It's a scientific miracle. We used a sample of Mew's DNA to make a copy of Mew, a clone. You are the result of our experiment. Why? Mewtwo asked. Why'd you do it? We wanted to see if it was possible to make a clone of the legendary Mew, the scientist said. We proved it could be done. Confusion clouded Mewtwo's brain. The humans seemed so pleased with their work. Thank you for listening to me read. And if you want to find out more about this book, visit your local library. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Wiley.
Hi, my name is Brian Smith, and I am going to be reading Pokemon Charizard Go in Chapter 8, Charizard vs. Magmar. Charizard flexed its muscles, eager to battle. The gym floor is destroyed, Blaine said. We'll have to hold the battle somewhere else. Ash felt relieved. It wasn't easy battling on top of a lava pit. I know the perfect place, Blaine said. There's another lava pit not far from here, on the outside of the volcano, near the top. Ash groaned, but he didn't object. After all, Charizard was on his side. Now, how could he lose? Misty looked worried as they climbed up the volcano. Don't get your hopes up with Charizard, she warned. I don't think Charizard is doing this to please you. Brock agreed. What do you mean? Ash asked. I think Charizard saw how strong Magmar was, Brock said. Charizard wants to see if it can beat Magmar. It wants to test itself. You might be right, Ash said, but I just know Charizard won't let me down this time. Soon they reached the lava pit. Inside the circular pit, reddish-orangish lava bubbled and boiled. Tall stone pillars rose out of the lava pit, dotting the pit. Ash thought it looked like the pit could be crossed by jumping from one pillar to the next, although he didn't think he'd ever want to try it. Blaine and Magmar walked around the pit, the edge of the pit.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to read more of this and hear more of this, maybe, go to your local library.
Hi, my name is Rosemary Kerr, and I'm going to be reading Hidden Child of the Holocaust by Stacy Crittensmeyer. The chapter is in the valet cellar. As the weeks wore on, Mom and Papa were worried by the ever-increasing number of roundups occurring in Albi. We often had to run into the fields and hide for several hours, having heard reports of roundups in the neighboring towns. Sometimes we met other Jews there who had come from Albi. They had been fortunate enough to escape their places of hiding before the French police came for them. During this time, rumors began to circulate that the French police were redoubling their efforts to track down the Jews still in hiding in the small villages. The police had to fill their quotas in order to placate the Nazis, who had strict timetables and refused to send trains to the east unless they were filled to capacity. We did not know whether to believe the rumors or not, but Mom grew more and more hesitant about leaving the apartment. The Protestant minister who had taken Papa to Toulouse in August got in touch with him through an intermediary. This messenger warned Papa that things were getting worse, not better, particularly for the foreign and stateless Jews, very few of whom he was told were left in France. The rumors my parents had heard were true, and Papa was urged to stop working at this Satsui tarn factory altogether and to stay inside at all times. If we do that, Papa cried, we will have no money to pay off the town crier. The minister's friends told Papa that he would try to arrange something. He urged Papa to continue following all of Monsieur Fidou's instructions. If you hear there is going to be a roundup, or if you see anything suspicious yourself, get out of here. Go into the fields, climb into the hills, just get out. The first place they will look for you, Monsieur Caper, is here in your own apartment or at the factory. I understand, Papa said. You don't have to tell me. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear more about this story, check it out at your local library.
In the Little House on
No,
Hillside.
your name.
Hello, my name is Kitty Ellis, and I'll be reading Madeline. In the little house in Paris that was covered in vines, there were 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. In 2 straight lines, they broke the bread, brushed their teeth, and went to bed. They smiled at the good, they frowned at the bad. Sometimes they were very sad. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines, in rain or shine. The smallest one was Madeline. She was not scared of mice. She loved winter snow and ice. To the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Pooh, pooh." Nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Cavell. In the middle of the night, Miss Cavell turned on the light and said, "Something is not right." Madeline sat in her bed, cried and cried. Her eyes were red. After Dr. came, he rushed to the telephone and dialed down 106. "Nurse, it's an appendix." Everybody had to cry. Not a single eye was there. Dry. Madeline was in his arms, in a blanket, safe and warm. In the car with a red light, Madeline went into the night. Madeline woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. Madeline soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank, and the crank had a habit of looking like a rabbit. Outside there were birds, trees, and the sky. And soon 10 days passed quickly by. One morning Miss Cavell said, "Isn't it a fine day to visit Madeline?" Thank you for listening to me read. And if you want to hear the rest of the book, check it out at your local library.
Hello, my name is Lexi Parrott, and I am reading There's a Boy in the Girls' Bathroom, Chapter 22. All week, Bradley worked on his list of topics to discuss with Carla. It's not homework, he kept telling himself. In fact, it's the opposite of homework. Because if I think of some good topics, then we don't have to talk about them. He didn't scribble during class. He listened closely to what Mrs. Ebel and the other kids said in order to get ideas for his list. He took it with him wherever he went. At recess, he kept his eyes and ears open, constantly on the lookout for a new topic. The other kids were meaner to him than they had ever been before. They were no longer afraid of him. They called him names, and when he didn't do anything, they called him more names. A 4th grade boy who wanted to show off for his friends ran up to him and said, "You're not even a human. You're a monster. You're a monster from outer space." The boy ran away, but Bradley didn't chase him. He added 3 new topics to his list: humans, monsters, and outer space. Monday was Halloween. Most of the kids brought costumes, which they were allowed to put on at lunch. Brian, one of Jeff's friends, didn't bring a costume, so he borrowed a black magic marker from Mrs. Ebel and colored a circle around one eye. When he came back from lunch, he told everyone he was Bradley Chalkers. While everyone laughed, Bradley busily worked on his list. It covered both sides of 3 sheets of paper. Number 1, trees that lose their leaves. Number 2, old stars. Number 3, chalk Tape? Are chickens really afraid? Why do people laugh? What's it feel like to be shot in the leg? Pencils, pencil sharpeners, accidents, coffee, military school, canes, basketball, friends, enemies, hopscotch, dodgeball, foursquare, 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato, more. Less, nothing at all. What's it like to be in jail? If you want to hear more about the story, check it out at the local library. And thank you for listening to me read.
Hi, my name is Casey, and I'm going to read The Show and Tell War. Adam Joshua didn't mind school, but it always came when he least accepted it, and usually when he had the most to do. It was back. He wasn't ready. He had planned to do a lot of things this summer, and none of them were finished yet. Some of them were even started. For one thing, he had a best friend, Nelson. He had planned to do a bunch of things to the tree house. They started together. Adam Joshua wasn't exactly sure what all of them were, but he knew they would have gotten around most.
Just skip it. Keep going.
George had a long way to get before he knew most of the things a dog was supposed to know. Adam Joshua stopped thinking and looked around his room for George. His closet door was open, and George was in there. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to learn more about this book, be sure to look on the library near you. Hi, my name is Graham Knibb, and I will be reading Pokemon Island of the Giant Pokemon Chapter 2, Butterfree vs. Raticate. What an amazing ship, Ash said, gazing around the SS Anne. Ash, Misty, Brock, and Pikachu walked along the ship's deck. They followed a steward in a navy blue jacket. This way to the main hall, he said, directing them to 2 open doors. Ash gasped when he stepped inside the hall. The large room was crowded with Pokemon trainers, talking excitedly and showing off their Pokemon. Booths lined the walls of the hall, selling everything from Pokemon toys and jewelry to real Pokemon. This is like a giant Pokemon convention, Ash exclaimed. Misty nodded. Everyone here is a Pokemon trainer. Ash looked around the hall. There was so much to do, he wasn't sure where to start. Then a loud cheering erupted from the middle of the hall, where a crowd had formed a circle. Ash pushed his way through the crowd. A Pokemon trainer was holding up a Pokeball. He was a tall man, much older than Ash. The man wore a top hat and a black dinner jacket, a red bow tie, and blue-tinted sunglasses. The man turned to the crowd. Is anyone brave enough to challenge my Raticate? Ash, his heart beat with excitement. Battling your Pokemon against other trainers' Pokemon was something every good Pokemon trainer was taught to do. Ash was itching for a battle. Ash ran up to the older trainer. I will! Ash knew just what Pokemon he would use too.
How about battling my Butterfree? As you wish, the man replied. He threw his Pokeball into the air. Pokeball, go! He cried. Eradicate, a large rat-like Pokemon with 4 sharp fangs, appeared in a blaze of white light. Ash threw a Pokeball. Butterfree, I choose you! Butterfree burst from its Pokeball. Its blue wings flapped in the air. Although it looked like a simple butterfly, Ash knew it was a powerful Pokemon. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to learn more about this book, visit in your local library. Hi, Mom. Hi, Karen. Hi, Daddy. Hi, Mom. Hi, everybody. Hi, Tracy West. Yay. Hi.
We love reading!
What do you love?
Reading!
And where do you go to school?
Sierra Christian School!
And what do you love?
Reading!
Hey!